cave, the Hurt Locker, Sufferville, whatever you want to call it. We've all been there, and we don't like being in there. And for many years, in races especially, I always thought success was being able to never get into that spot where you feel terrible, that you'd feel amazing if you control every variable, your pace, your heart rate, your nutrition, that you can have a perfect race where you feel great the whole time. But the reality is, that's not very realistic at all. I think that's happened to me once in a marathon. Otherwise, you're always gonna hit this spot where life sucks in a run. So whether that's in a race or training. So this week, I thought I'd share with you some of the ways that I deal with the Hurt Locker when it comes, when I'm in that pain cave. A couple little hacks, I've got 5 of them for you that help me get through tough times on the run. All right, so my first tip is distractions. Anything that gets your brain distracted from the discomfort of being in the pain cave, the Hurt Locker. That's what you're looking to do. And the good news is, for many of us guys, like you and me, we can get distracted really easy with little ADD brains. But for me, I like to take my thoughts away. And one of my favorite ways to distract my mind is counting steps. So I'll have different patterns that I'll use. I might count 50 strides on the right, 50 strides on the left, then repeat. Or if I'm really suffering, it might be 100 strides total, running, 25 walk, repeat. Anything that gets your brain thinking really helps. I also had a video on an old channel that I'll link up below. It talks about the science of counting steps and timing your breathing to your steps through these different patterns. Super interesting. Have a look at it below. But distractions are the key. Even things like doing time math, where you're calculating your pace and how long. I find time math hard. And so that helps a lot in keeping the brain distracted. So try counting your steps and I see how that works.
Grinding in the twilight, chasing that life. Footfalls echo, rhythm in the night. Blazing new trails, horizon in sight. No way to march to test the wills. Conquer these hills, feeling those thrills. Sweating the foe is the price of flight. Fueling the dream, running day and night. Push them limits, set through DNF. Every step harder, testing your breath.
Tip number 2. Little surges. 30 to 60 second surges where you pick up your pace just a little bit and then drop back down to the easy pace or whatever race pace you're running at the time. When you do these little pickups, it's the weirdest thing. Psychologically, you think it wouldn't work, but it works really, really well. Little surges, because when you come back down to the pace you were running before, it feels easier. I mean, you can't do this the entire race, but when you get into those low moments, and you know your brain's gonna go, okay, maybe I'll just walk now. Do the opposite. Do little surges, pick up your pace, drop it back down. Do that a few times. 30 seconds, 45 seconds. See how that goes. Works for me every time.
Hit the pavement in the morning light. Running fast till I'm out of sight. Got my headphones on tight. Everything's feeling right. Heart's pounding to the beat. Feet moving down the street. Every note lifts me off my feet. Rhythm makes the world complete. Lost in the song I fly. Music takes me high. My passion.
Tip number 3, we're talking about music. And this can go both ways depending on how you use music when you train and race today. For me, I hardly ever use music. I don't train with music. And some of the reasons. Number 1, as you guys, if you've been watching my channel, you know I run with my dog quite a bit. So I like to be able to hear him, which is important. Also, a lot of races don't allow headphones in. And so I think if you're starting to get yourself trained to needing music. I've heard people say, I don't know how you could run without music. You kind of have to train it, but it's good not to rely on it. So that's the second reason. And then the third reason is because depending on what you're listening to, it can kind of force you into a pace you don't want to be in. Kind of like when you're driving down the road and AC/DC comes on and all of a sudden you're speeding. The same thing happens with music is when we're running, is that all of a sudden you can be like running to the beat of the song and now your pace is all of a sudden like out of control. If you do that for a couple hours, you're definitely going to put yourself into the pain cave. So if you use music all the time, I challenge you to not use it. And if you don't use it, you can use it every now and then, especially when you're suffering. Sometimes that can be a nice boost when you need it. So that's my thoughts on music.
Lay some tight, time to dominate. FUDNF, grind hard, can't underestimate. Pound the pavement, every step build a legacy. Eyes on the prize, hit the crowd, we the pedigree. In the mud, in the crime, rain or shine, we train. Ultra beat, sweat, drip and feel the muscle strength. Sunrise to sunset, push beyond pain. Leaving all excuses, we the ones that can't be tamed.
All right, tip number 4. You know this one. But why do you always mess it up? And I'm talking to myself when I say that, and that's nutrition. Staying in front of your nutrition. I feel like so many times we wait till it's too late, we're not on top of it, and then all of a sudden we're trying to get out of the pain cave and calories is the answer, but it's way too late. So staying in front of your nutrition, massive important. One of the things I like to do too, even like going back to that concept of distractions, is obviously knowing how often you're going to take it, but then looking at your time and go, okay, it's 11:30. I'm gonna take this now. My next one's gonna be 12:15, and then you start thinking about that next time. This distracts your brain. So stay ahead of your nutrition. Have a plan. Obviously, be adjustable and adaptable, but you stay ahead of it. And by the way, question for you: what energy gels are you using? I'm using the Roctane energy gels today, the goo. What are you using? I've used a whole bunch. I haven't really found a winner, so I'd love to know. What energy gels are you chewing these days? This one's cold brew coffee. Cheers. Okay, tip number 5. Embrace it, welcome it, expect it. Like I said earlier, it's like sometimes we try and avoid it and we don't want to feel good, but the reality is you're gonna suffer. So every time, especially in training, when you can take yourself into that hurt locker, it's a good thing. So look forward, embrace it, welcome it. When you get there, just remind yourself that the more time you spend in it in a training situation, the better equipped you'll be in a race. And I think the older we get, the grittier we get. We're used to suffering, so look forward as an opportunity to just get stronger. Embrace it, expect it. That's tip number 5.
Hey, listen up, I've tried to tell you this 100 times. Not getting better by lying there pretending to cry. You on repeat, you can't see shit cause you have closed your eyes. You say you listen, but you're missing what it's all about. Rise up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah.
All right, that's a wrap. Just finished my long run. Hope those tips were helpful. Maybe you could take 1 or 2 of those and try them out. And I've got a bonus one for you that I thought of on the last little stage here of my run. Something that I learned from my good buddy Dave Proctor. And you won't believe this, but there's actually science and it works. I don't know the science. I just know that it actually works. It's hard to remember, but when you smile, it actually releases some sort of chemical in the body that helps to make you feel better. Stupid, crazy, I know, but try smiling when you're suffering and see if that can hack your brain. I used to always see Dave Proctor in late stages of these races with a big smile on his face, and that's something that he taught me, was to smile. So give that a try. See if that helps in your pain cave suffering. Anyways, hope this helped. How do you get through the pain cave when you're suffering? What are some of the hacks that you have? Comment below. I'd love to hear those things. Anyways, subscribe, follow. Thanks for checking in. Have a great week. Head to Nashville this week, so look forward to some running down there and documenting that. So talk to you guys on the next one. See ya.